Back aside, back aside.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Front Door Show. This is DJ Editor for Fantastic Events, and this is what we do every day about 8 o'clock. A little early, but we have today terrific Tom Garcia. How you doing, Tom?
What up, buddy? How are you, Angelo? Good to see you.
Good. You know you're old school when you start calling me Angelo, because the only people that know me for a long time call me Angelo.
Yeah. Wepa.
All right, what I ask all my guests all the time. You see my shows. Is do me a favor, give yourself a little intro and tell everybody who you are and stuff like that. If any websites and so forth, so that people gotta, who there's quite a few people that do log on and they don't know who you are, maybe.
Man, wow. I was for like 2 weeks when I was watching all these shows, I was thinking about where am I going to start, but I mean, I don't know where to start. I mean, in high school, I did what everybody else does, listen to the tapes, Julian B96 mix masters, and recorded it. And I would record on Memorex, but the last 10 minutes I really loved because I would hear the commercials and Eric Snorth and Janelle's and China Club and Rainbow and all these clubs, and I was like, I want to be that person, and my friend Ashish Gandhi, when we were in Niles West, freshman, sophomore year, I don't remember, he seen I was hanging out with the kind of, I don't want to say rough or bad crowd because it was Niles West. It was in the Skokie suburbs already. But he brought me out to Chicago and he told me these guys are fun, cool. And it was his cousin he introduced me to, which is Tibble. You're familiar with Tibble from Top Rock?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Tibble hosted a St. Ben's event, brought me under his wing. We created a crew called Too Damn Fresh, which is a part of Top Rock. Top Rock was the DJs, Too Damn Fresh was the party crew. From there, in 95 to 97, right now I just think back and it's 2 years seems so fast, but in those 2 years, man, we did the homecoming dances at St. Ben's, and the Ramada, the Days Inn, Quality Inn. We rocked it everywhere. I'm missing with the Eddie B House, Schurz, Kilo and Play, Foreman with Tune and Quick. We were everywhere. It was so much fun. And then we had the Lincoln Turner Hall, Ruiz Boba Center on Milwaukee Avenue, CBO. It was just a lot of fun. There's other venues, obviously, we did. I'm not thinking right now.
Let's make sure that everybody understands. When you say you did the event, what, you were a promoter? Were you a DJ? What was your status in as far as being part of that crew?
Okay, sure. I was basically like Tibble's right-hand man. We were in the promoter with Tibble. We were helping Tibble out. Tibble was the main man of our crew, Top Rock. It was a party crew we were doing, and it was hosted by Terrific Tom. I would host it on the mic at these events.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is, how old are you at the time you're doing this? From
16, I want to say, maybe 15, but 16.
Okay. And so you were doing mostly teen clubs. Is that, teen events? Is that kind of what you're basically?
Yeah, and we went from homecoming dances to the Ruiz Center and Ramada, Quality Inn, and all these cool banquet halls. It was really fun. I thought that was the place to be, and it was cool until he took me to Alcatraz. And when he took me over there, they didn't give him an X, but they gave me an X. And I said, all right, whatever. We went 10 o'clock, jamming. I was like, wow, DJs, wow, it's a cool club atmosphere. This is the real deal. When I went there, and then at 11:30, lights shut on all of a sudden. Security came out of nowhere. It was like 15 guys. You didn't see them all night. They came out of nowhere, the 15 guys, and they got rid of me because I had an X. They didn't get rid of him, but he left because he was my ride. And he says, see, it just goes to show you. People party downtown. People party where we party in the north side, and people party everywhere. It's just fun, And I was like, wow, it was great back then, because everyone hung out. It was just a good time back then, And then after that, I met Shmoo, Pampa the Knox, whatever, and we went to House of Blues. We went to your events. We went everywhere.
Do me a favor. When you talk about these names, think that when people are listening, they have no clue who they are, because honestly, there's going to be a lot of people who have no clue who they are. We know who they are, and I know you and I know they are, but sometimes you got to dummy it down, and I don't mean that in a bad sense. It's just because the fact that sometimes people weren't there, like me and you were there. So me and you could say, yeah, Shmoo, we know who exactly is, and then so Shmoo is part of Pampa the Knox, and Pampa Knox are who? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, his real name is Luis Rivera. His nickname was Shmoo. He was a dancer with Pampa the Knox. But before that, he was my buddy. And because that whole Pampa the Knox started in 2000. Before that, he was my buddy in 97, 98. We were hanging out at the Jumpin' Music with Harry. We were doing all the sales, and Harry would talk on the phone, and with the whole record store and everything being on Grand. We carry Julian's records into the warehouse and everything. And we were making all the sales. Shmoo was on one side, I was on the other side. We were doing so well until Julian and Charlie came one time, snuck around and says, oh, it's these guys that want to do the sales. Brought Harry back to Grand, and Shmoo and I kept the Mega Mall, kept it going and everything like that. In 98, I went to Super Mall. Charlie brought me to Super Mall, 52nd and Pulaski with VG and everything. And then that brought me to the South Side. Seen how CYC, I seen Pablo's interview, Gino Romo, seen how CYC worked, and brought me out to a whole different horizon on the South Side. It's like a crossover for me, and I love the South Side as well. And back in '98, we're gonna do a house and freestyle show. The venue didn't work, but when I met up with Shmoo in 97 and 99, those 2 years were phenomenal as well. I mean, we would go to Polo, we would go to the Cage Run, we would go everywhere and just have fun and get the word out there. We called ourselves Goodfellas. We had jerseys and everything, just like a party crew type of thing. I would still host things. Back then, I was with Julian and Charlie. We did a lot of the lowrider shows. We did 4 at McCormick and 3 at the Odeum. And they brought me to San Antonio in '98 to do one out there too, at the Fremont Coliseum with Porky. This man, isn't it?
And that's where me and you first met. Am I correct? That's how me and you met.
Yeah, with the whole tapes and everything like that. You were doing so much volume back then with the Fiesta Caliente, Merengue Caliente. I mean, it was phenomenal. So we kept on ordering, and then from there, Shmoo and I started hanging with you at the Tropicana de Cache, and we started hanging out with you on a personal tip rather than just a business tip out there. We started hanging out with you then.
Well, that you were working for Charlie store with Hector Hot Mix, if I remember. That's where
Harry Hot Mix. Harry
Hot Mix. You guys were working at that, and I think that me and you talked because I knew everybody in the kind of right there at the Mega Ball, because I remember the Mega Ball.
Yeah.
But you guys knew that I never did a mixtape before this. You guys just knew that I was a Latin DJ. That's all you guys knew about.
Yeah.
And I think that was the first time that we met, is when I used to come on my suit and my sport and my trench coat.
The trench coat. I love the trench coat. You used to DJ in them motherfucker too when you went to out there at Merengue Luis and Boom Spot. You used to come with the trench coat. I was like, what the hell? I used to throw down. Right? I used to DJ too with those. Yeah.
That was, if people don't realize, just in case you know, because it was different, because here I worked in a men's clothing store. So I had suit, tie, I had a Hugo Boss suit on, Armani tie, I was in a full blue trench coat. And believe it or not, I still got that trench coat.
Really?
Yeah, it fits. Believe it or not, it fits.
Should retire that.
Oh, you know what? I did retire it. It literally was falling apart. That's how bad. But when you
but it still fit. But it still fit.
No. But what's funny is when you wear a trench coat, think about it. You're only wearing it during the spring and like the beginning of the fall. So you don't wear it maybe rainy weather, and that's it. And it's like a month here and then 2 months there. And I think it was just when I came out with that was just September, October, because I remember it was right before Thanksgiving. I had released the first Ritmo Caliente mixtape. That was the first mixtape. And I remember you guys being there at the store and approaching you guys and say, hey man, I got a mixtape, man. It's merengue and salsa on one side. And I think you guys there wasn't really a lot of Latin mixtapes out there. It was just
no.
It was freestyle, hip hop, and house music.
Yeah.
And maybe
Charlie had Quick make the masters for us, the hard house and stuff like that. We had our masters back then. Yeah.
But you guys were doing volume on a bunch of mixtapes back then. There was
just in that little flea market we were doing so much, and Mario was down the street in the same mall. He was still doing good. I'm amazing. I'm supposed he was doing good as well, but I mean, because he was there. But we were doing so much volume over there. It was unbelievable. Before CDs and now USB. Just the tape was doing so well. I mean, wow.
Right. I just remember you guys, and I remember also that at the McCormick place, because
Mhm.
that was my first performance out of McCormick place. Because after I had the I think it was Mas Caliente. If you remember that, me performing at McCormick place,
Yeah.
and that was when you were in the lowrider booth, if I'm not mistaken. You were in lowrider,
Mhm.
but you were there also for the mixtape aspect of it as well. And I
Yeah, I
remember,
would get the little go-karts and go around, make sure the vendors were cool. That's what my job
right,
was. And
right.
to go bring the people backstage and, stuff like that, coordinator. And then I would help them sell in the booth as well, with the tapes and CDs and stuff like that, for Charlie.
And I remember that one, and that we had a good rapport with everybody there as far as the guys who worked the tapes. If there was a stage and stuff like that that had need to be done, and I think that's when I don't know who hired me exactly, but I just remember that I was going to do mix live with my CD players for this mix but basically it was merengue mixing and stuff like that. And I brought the two girls to dance for me. I remember that the two girls that were dressed very provocative. They were just very provocative.
Sex cells. We all can't be like Shannon. We're LED robots. I mean,
And I just remember, doing that wepa, the wepa, doing that everybody knows. And I
Mhm.
remember you were way on the other side over there with your cart. And all of a sudden I see you drive all the
Yeah.
way to the stage because everybody ran to the stage. I mean, everybody.
Yeah.
There was,
Yeah.
I think it was like 4,000 people in the place
Mhm.
because it was indoor. 4,000, and
Mhm.
everybody was kind of spread out everywhere. And I remember
Yeah.
as soon as I played that and the girls were dancing, then everybody just like right to the
What's
stage.
going on over there?
Yeah.
I'll watch the cars bounce up and down later.
Yeah, exactly. But I remember you were very excited for me. I remember you because
Yeah.
I turned around and you're right there and you're like, oh yes, this is cool. Oh, more more
Hmm.
more mixtape sales. Great. That was you guys. Like more mixtape sales. Great.
Yeah. The lowrider shows, it was just so much volume, but it was just the good old days. Like they say, good old days. That's literally the good old days.
Right, right. So I mean, and let's be honest with you. I know the lowrider shows went for quite a long time. I know George Ortega started doing the lowrider shows as well.
Mhm. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
he was involved with us, and that's why Charlie and Julian had Charlie Martinez and Julian Perez. They had a great team. That's why it were 8 successful parties, 4 events, 4 in McCormick and 3 at the Odeum, and then of course the San Antonio one, because it was Angie Martinez and Candy getting the vendors. It was George Ortega getting the sponsors and stuff like that. He would get the sounds and lights,
right.
and Porky, he was a member of Ground Force. He was working with us, and he would get the cars, and then I would get out there and do the promotions, posters, flyers, do it, and then these guys would fund the money, Charlie and Julian, everybody together was a great unit, and everything was great. And that's why we became successful and for a long time. There was only one hiccup. I don't want to say hiccup, but there was one time we were at the Jumping Enterprises in Lombard, and Julian came in. He was like, did you give Teamsters a deposit? Give Teamsters a deposit, Charlie. Oh my God. And Charlie's like, yeah, what's going on? He's like, oh, we have to change the date. He's like, I already, gave the deposit. What's going on? And he says, that's the date of the Pan America Fest. And Mark Anthony's going to be there. And that was in 97 or 98 when Mark Anthony was, going. I mean, he was at his pinnacle. And it was awesome because I went to I did in McCormick, obviously. And I took the go-kart over there just to see Mark Anthony in the rain at Soldier Field. I mean, and both were slammed. I mean, because in Chicago back then, everyone supported everybody. Not like it is now, everyone's all territorial. But Soldier Field was jamming. We were jamming at McCormick. I mean, it was just so much good
And it
vibes.
wasn't that far from each other. Seriously,
No,
I mean,
I took the go-kart.
Yeah.
I hijacked the go-kart for a few. Yeah, I heard when Mark Anthony was going to be what time, and I hijacked the go-kart and went over there and seen him. It was raining, and people were still at Soldier Field. It was still jamming. Pan America, the CFA back in those days was awesome.
Right.
Good
right.
vibes. Good vibes.
Good. Yeah, I mean that was good time. Let's say so. Here you are. 2000, excuse me, 1996 to 2000-ish. This is where you're at this point.
It was in '99. With the lowrider
Alright.
shows and everything with Shmoo and everything. And then we were living on Diversity Kim in Milwaukee, and that's when Shmoo says Ziggy was doing this place on Milwaukee by Diversity. Ziggy D, by the way, his name. And the second floor, Vilma Cologne came and give him a slap, and he got it rated or whatever. And then he did K-Drum for like a couple months, whatever. So Shmu's like, now it's our time to talk to Ziggy and to do the Royal. So, all right, cool, because my uncle was Tony Robles, the police officer over there. And he says, well, I know the Donna and I know everybody. I'll go over there and just hang out. So if the cops come by, they'll see me, a familiar face, and everything will be fine. But why don't you start doing every Friday? So we're like, all right. So we told Ziggy, let's do this. And when we were doing posters, flyers, when we were doing it, man, we had, I don't want to say because of the capacity issues now, but I don't want to get in trouble. But we had damn near 400 or 500 people in that small banquet up top. I mean, it was jamming every Friday for 2 years. Al took over Thursdays for the gay night, and we had it jamming. I mean, people now, Wanda Predator always tease me, Hector Homics. It's like, what happened to that banana eating contest? I mean, they always bust my chops, but because I mean, it was banana contest, Dookie booty contest. We were like the original people to do that stuff, and it was a whole bunch of fun with Ziggy and the Royal. 2 years into that, then I went to Cielo, Marlins, Tequilas after that, and then in 04, 05, I went with Frank and Frankie to V5, and worked there. And now for the last 5 years, I've been doing my own events. But I've had a long roller coaster, and I've always made it. Now I think it's the 88th or 89th. I'm marking on my calendar. Only the Saturday I missed. But because I like to be out every Saturday. I like to go to gay clubs. I like to go to hip hop parties. I like to go to Lincoln Park, Wrigleyville. I like to go everywhere to see the vibes. I like to go to the banda parties. I like to go everywhere to see the vibes. So every Saturday, I make it an issue that even if I'm having an event, I go to support someone, or I go see the vibe, or I go see what's going on. Since '95 till right now, I've only missed 88 Saturdays. Whether that's promoting, hosting, whether that's doing whatever I do. But I mean, I one thing I could say is I work with some great people. Luis Ramirez at the Village Cafe, going to seeing his events. I think they were talking the other day, Dynamico and everybody, Marco Hernandez, about Viva. Oh man, those tapes were awesome. I mean, Julian, obviously, Frank Roy, Frankie V. I work with some great people, and I'm honored. And in this business, I mean, I'm cool with everybody. I like to be cool with everybody. Peter, Tony, that's just me. I know some people dislike one another. Life is too short for that. I like to get along with everybody, and I think that's why I survived this long. Because I've made friends with everybody. Everyone knows me as this crazy guy, funny guy, and that's how I want to be perceived. I don't want to be perceived as an asshole, a jerk, because I'm not. At the end of the day,
No, I mean well, because there were very few hosts that, and I know there were hosts, and that's people that I guess don't understand that in this industry there were hosts were almost as important as as the DJ or the promoters and stuff like that when it came to parties. Because I remember we could go back from Janelle's times when Jesse from Loop Records was a host, and then the Candy was a host, and there was you being a host. There was Buddha was a host for a long time.
From our days with Louis the Magnificent and myself, with Captain's Crib, Rui Center, Ramada, all them events. Captain's Crib was fun. And then after that, we groomed Buddha, Shmoo and the Goodfellas and Ziggy D groomed Buddha to do the Royal after that. And Buddha became huge after that. He basically passed the torch. We passed the torch on to him, and he was great at that. With the work it. He had his own little shtick. Because we all do this normal. You're in the mix of blah blah. Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, Sox, Cubs. But Buddha took it to another level with his work it. And he had good times with that.
Right. No, because that's what I was going to say. Because I remember. I remember, even though we had because we worked with a bigger company, over at Tropicana, I remember that we would always have the host as the radio station. That was the way it would work with us.
Ramonski loved the host of the boxing. When we went to the boxing, you'd take Shmoo and I to the boxing. We would go to the IHOP after that till like 8 in the morning.
It wasn't Ramonski. It was Dr. Love, actually. It was
Dr. Love. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, it was Dr. Love. It was Dr. Love and stuff like that. Because I think that was the unique thing about Tuesday Night Boxing for everybody in there, because we weren't nobody's competition. everybody would go there, whether you were, and it was funny because people who didn't like each other would show up for Tuesday night boxing, and they would
Yeah.
be there regardless. It was because we were kind of that neutral territory in the
Yeah.
in the sense of I don't know about thugs in that aspect because that wasn't, but I'm just talking about like that promoter would be there, that promoter there, that promoter, and we'll get everybody from north, south, east, and west. It was just all across the board. And I remember, you heard Marco Hernandez, making comments about it, and Dynamico and the guys and stuff like that. So all you guys were there, all you guys were there, and
Mhm.
I guess it was because it was a fun night. Period. It was fun for you guys. Maybe you guys could let loose a little bit and stop not work. Maybe that's why you guys had a really fun night. And
Yeah,
it was
and the night in general was awesome too because it wasn't about Tuesday night boxing like everybody says 3 minute boxing and stuff like that. The music, you guys DJ too. You had the team out there DJing too. So it was a fun environment. The black, white, Puerto Rican, Mexican, everybody was jamming, and obviously the aspect of the boxing was cool too because everybody would get back in their seats, get back in there, and they would look at the ring and everything.
you mean the green girls weren't interesting?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, doing their flips and doing their splits and doing
Mhm.
that was I mean, I guess it was done set up cool. I mean, honestly, it was very cool and stuff like that. I think I hope that we portrayed what a fun night's supposed to be about. That's what kind of that was my when Ruben and I had put this together. That was my one thing that I told everybody is that, man, we can't make this about a night like a nightclub aspect. This has got to be about something that's going to be feel good and have fun.
Yeah.
It isn't don't take everyone so serious. And honestly,
Mhm.
that was why we hired Dr. Love, because if you remember, we didn't have Dr. Love at one point.
Yeah.
I think it was the first 3 years we didn't have Dr. Love. And when Dr. Love came to visit to see me, and he's like, and I known his personality, I went up to Ruben and I said, "Hey, man, I think this guy will be perfect for the mic." Because remember, he was that made he would say things and he would joke with people and he would say, he became the host.
Yeah, you got to bust in the crowd. You got to make everybody happy.
Right, and he would joke about it, and and I just remember it was just some of the things he said and some of the things he would talk about to the people, and and I'm next to him, so I'm listening to everything he says. So he'll say something, and he goes, "Hey, look at that guy! Doesn't he look like Prince?" And then he would say, and then he would say, or he'll say about some girl. Oh, there's Nikki and her knackers, and he would just throw out some crazy stuff like. I mean, obviously, girls not Nikki or anything like that, but he would say some funny stuff, and I remember all of us were like, "Oh my God, oh God, we're gonna get in trouble tonight." But I mean, that's what I remember. Remember that was a little later too. That was 2004, 2005 when
Mhm.
that happened. So in that time, where are you at that point in 2005, 2006? Where are you at in I guess the hosting or / doing events?
Uh, in 2002, 2003, for 2, 3 years, we did the Royal. Then after that, Marlins, Tequila, Cielo, stuff like that. I think that was a 3 to 5 Tequila, Royal, Marlins, Cielo, and then 5, and then 2005. I was when I started with V5. I think it was V5 back then.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And what was your capacity with V5? What were you doing as far as like were you doing specifically an event, or a place, or what were you doing for Frank?
Well, Frank and Frankie were together at the time, and Frankie said he wants to do a promoting coordinator, and basically you get a street team out there, you manage them. You go out there from 12 o'clock until 4 or 5 o'clock. You got to know where they're at, so you got to take the drive and know where they're at. From 12 to 2, they hit all the cars in the vicinity for the 2 block radius, and from 2 to 5, they stand at the club. One goes on one side, and one goes on the other side, and they pass them out. So you have to make sure that they're at A, B, C, D, E, specific club, and make sure they're doing their job. Basically, you don't want a guy to go around the corner and eat a hot dog or a taco, or you don't want a guy to sleep in his car. You have to make sure as a boss to guide them and make sure they're doing their job. And And that's what I was doing, the street promotion coordinator for them. And also Alonzo had us work at CMN too, pass out their flyers too, because they know we had like 8 people at the time. We were deep, so we were passing out 2 flyers. It was just a flyer. We were passing out the flyers to the people, and it was really fun. I liked the experience. But it was Frank Monroy who told me if I wanted to manage Zentra for him, like a club manager. I think 06, 07, like a year into it, 06, 07. If I wanted to manage that, that's after he was at the north side. I think Elston, whatever. That's actually when he came to Aragon, and he asked me. I was like, oh yeah, sure. What do I gotta do? He's like, do your personality. You're fun, you're awesome. Be outgoing and do you. Make sure the birthdays have their cupcakes. Go check on the birthday list up front at like 12 o'clock. Who's ever has the most people, get them a shot. Get them a drink. Do you make sure DJs are playing the right music? If not, tell them to change it up. Do you make the night good, make the night fun, entertaining. I know you could work well at this because you're outgoing, enthusiastic person. So I did it, and it was fun. And we ran the 2 levels at Central with Rob, manager, the status group. Part of the soundbar guys and everything, and Rob was awesome to work with. Rob was, when I was go to his office, he was teaching me a little behind the scenes of how he managed and how an actually manager works, how a general manager works, watching the cameras, doing what he does. And I was like the floor guy. I was his floor guy at Zentra. And we did well. There was actually one story how well it was and how cool it was when we went to the office at the Aragon. We would go like every Tuesday to give our drops to Frank and everything. And he had a meeting with the Babalu guy, the Transit guy, me, the Zentra, Excalibur manager, all the managers, Catracho, Armando, me, and a few other people. And he would get all of us together. So one time he opened up his wallet. Here's $100. So okay, I'm not giving this back. You know me. He's like, I know. It's for you. Keep it. I'm like, all right. And then one of the guys asked, why is he getting the $100? And he says, well, because I passed through Weed Street and I seen Tom was out there passing out a flyer. And then he said, I went in Zentra, and then Tom, he got some drink tickets for me. We were drinking a little for 20 minutes. And then Tom, he made sure the crowd was having a good time. Tom was on it. And then I left. I went to the other clubs, Frank says. And then around like 2, 3 in the morning, I went back, just to drive around. And I seen Tom out there sitting down, passing out flyers for people to come next week. So Tom takes his job really serious. This is a bonus for Tom, and here you go. And I said, wow. And I mean, $100 doesn't seem like a lot of money, but it was just the thought that, wow, he cares, sees what I do and he cares about that. And I was like, wow, and I was really touched by that generosity. I learned a lot from Frankie and Frankie. They were the first people when we did the Pitbull out there at the Fremont back of the Sangria and back of the right there. The hell was that club? And back at the Sangria, it was a Radio Star Club. I don't know, but they brought Pitbull to that small place, And these guys, when they started with the Spanish rock events at the Convent and everything, I mean, they came a long way. I learned a lot from them, how the business goes and everything. I learned from Elsa Scenarios, Tony Batoy, took all my knowledge, and now we're doing the house and freestyle shows, Lime, George Lamont, Cynthia, that we do. Now we're doing Southside bars. We're having an event, bachata events, and Joe's live, obviously. The whole pandemic's got us messed up. But I mean, I try to do Latin events now. And we had a last year at Martini, a Fulanito after party, Dominique Marte after party for a festival. I mean, we just got our hands in everything. I mean, now it's just fun because I'm taking all the knowledge I learned from people and just doing my own events, and it's fun. And I love it. I love the roller coaster, I mean, you don't make money all the time, but you lose, you win, but you got to keep on because, this is the intrigue, and people have to know your brand. They have to know you. That's like right now when I still do the festivals. I sell CDs and USBs and shirts and everything, Hot Mix 5 shirts and everything from Kenny Jason. And people are like, wow, you're still doing this after all this time? I'm like, yeah, because I don't make $1 million at the festivals, but what are you going to do at home? Watch a Cubs game? At least go out there, make the brand Esta Noche, Terrific Tom, keep yourself relevant, keep yourself going. And that's why I still love the festivals, and I still love this, I plan to quit anytime soon.
So, all right. So here you are. You're working for Frank. That's 2008, 2009. Now comes 2010, 2011. What happens with you, Tom? Where do you go from this point?
Yeah, Frank was doing the whole transition. As far as he was leaving Aragon, with Yvonne out and everything, and whatever happened over there. I know what happened, but I'm not going to say what happened. But
thanks a lot for mentioning that.
Yeah. So Frank went to a Berwyn with
I'm
Louis
not, I know, but
Ramirez.
I'm not gonna tell you, sorry.
Yeah, well, not you, but I mean everyone else, Frank's business, and have Yvonne come kick my ass with the mafia and me die tomorrow. I don't want that. But he teamed up with Louis Ramirez at the Image store, and then that's when he had the office out there, and he hooked up with Live Scene. It was a guy I introduced him to, Robert Rackley and Tony Hightower, which is Tony Promo, and I guess they brought the other guys in, MIC and William Martinez, and they became the Live Scene. And Frank went young, and it's great what he's doing. It's fun. I mean, a lot of the DJs I heard don't like it or hate on him, but I mean, I love it. He crossed over. He was young, and it's great what he's doing, But he was doing that, and then I started in the freestyle old school market, doing those kind of shows at local Southside bars, and that was a roller coaster because those bar DJs, bar owners over there, they're a little territorial. That some days back in those days, 11, 12, I felt like, wow, I still want to work. I wish I was downtown, because downtown, yeah, there was like 8 or 10 promoters. But if you book birthdays, people say your name at the door, and then, hey, here's 50 people times 5. Here's your 250. And it's very simple. You don't have to worry about A, B, or C politics, nothing. And I'm like, wow, some days I'm like, oh, I wish I was still doing that. But I mean, I love the grind to do the actual events, freestyle house events. I love the grind. So I don't miss the downtown, but at the same time, there's times when I go there and transit, we're Barry and everything, Melissa, they treat you so warm and hospitality. And there's times that I'm like, wow, I wish I could see everything going on and jam. And I'm like, wow, I miss downtown. So sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
Well, let's be honest with Barry, between shelter days and
Yeah,
going to
shelter.
transit and stuff like that. He's a true club owner / he's a true industry guy. So I think it's between Melissa and all the staff that works there, they've been working there for quite a long time. So
Yeah,
if you're like I'm an industry guy, you're an industry guy. Industry people take care of industry people. That's the way it
yeah,
is, and stuff like that.
yeah.
And you have this camaraderie with and that's what I don't think and just to make it clear, people that are listening, and Tom will agree with me at this, don't think that the cool people are the ones in the VIP, because us industry people, we don't care about VIP. Honestly, we don't. We
No.
we are actually VIP just by default, in the sense that that if we're standing there and we'll stay quiet. Guess what? We're getting our drinks first, because they don't even ask us they want to drink. They walk up to us and say, "Here you go." Click, and they give us a drink. We don't even ask for it. They
Yeah,
literally
yeah.
pour us a drink before we even ask. We walk up and say, "Hey, what's going on? Hey, I seen you walking in. Here you go. Here's your drink." And they give it to us. And that's the way that's the way it is. So, I mean, but you got to remember,
I took my cousin to I hate to cut you short, but I took my cousin to transit, and it was like that, where you're walking around. It's like, yeah, it's my day off. I don't have an event. Let's go to a club. He's like, okay. I was like, it's 3 rooms. It's really cool. It's 9 to 5, just like a job. He's like, all right, cool. I said, I used to work with this company, so we'll get comped at the door. And he's like, all right, cool. I said, let me go to the ATM, pull some money out. He said, okay. We walked in. I said, hi, Olga. And Frank's sister-in-law, and I kissed her. Everything. We walked in, and there's Sophie over there. There's Tommy over there. And then they're like, here, what drink I want? They give it to me. I'm like, wow, it's so much love,
Right.
I love it.
And that's what and that's one of the things that I'm going to say, that as customers, if you really want to get experience at a nightclub, get to know your bartenders, get to know your servers, because that's really where it's at. You get pours better, you service
Yeah.
better, you get
$2, $3, $5 extra on the tip. You don't know how surprisingly long that goes.
and everybody knows me, dude. I see you, dude. I'm giving you $20 right even before my first drink. I'm giving you $20. Here you go, boom. Like everybody's like, "What? What's that?" No, man, that's for you, because I know you're gonna serve me, and you're gonna be, and at the same time, I know that you're gonna be busy, so I can't go ahead and give you drinks, tip all the time. I'd rather you get your tips from the other people. I'm giving you the tips off the back.
Yeah. So you see me, we're good.
Yep. And that's what happens. And honestly, that's where the people, I hear from people, customers, Oh yeah, well, I didn't have a good time at a club. You know, 90% of that is not, I mean, the music's always good. I mean, seriously, it has to be really bad to be an established night. You have to have done something really bad to have a bad night at an established nightclub. You know,
Exactly.
but you know, if you don't know, if you walk into a place, and I'll tell you this in the industry, you don't know, get to know your servers, get to know your and get to know your DJs as well and your hosts and stuff like that. Because
Yeah.
you're leaving, you're gonna be like I know as a DJ, you know what customers want to hear too. Oh, you know,
Mhm.
the guy says, "Hey, man," you know, and obviously the DJ, you know, and I think 90% of the DJs appreciate when you bring them a drink, not
Yeah.
money, tip money.
They
You
don't
know,
appreciate you bothering them all the time. Play this
right,
song, play this song, but they appreciate the drink.
right. Hey, so you know, and I see it always with like Frankie J. Dude, everybody knows he's a big time beer drinker, right? He loves his beer, right?
Mhm.
So they say, "Hey, what's up, Frankie?" And they give him the beer right there, right where he's playing. So you know, of course, he's gonna be like, "I got you. Here's your song next," or you know, your song's coming up. You
Yeah.
know, and that's and for all of us, I think that's how we are. You know, don't give me. Trust me, you could give me $20 as a tip. I think the drink is more appreciated because that means the camaraderie is a little better
Yeah.
because we have that kind of like, you know what, I do get thirsty, and if I like it, I like my drink, let's say whatever I drink, you know, I like my whiskey with you know, with ginger ale. That's what I like. Okay, boom, here you go. Here, and people
Mhm.
know me. Or you know, I love when guys come and say, oh yeah, here's your what is that? Man, it's been that long since I've been taking shots. God, a fireball. Here's your
Yeah.
fireball.
Fireball.
You know,
Yeah.
here's your fireball. You know, they come
Yeah.
up, they give you a
Um,
fireball. You know,
a local lounge on the south side, Watcher over there. The owner, he's really good with Julio because he knows Julio because he goes from Lalo's, I think 9 or 10 until 12. So he
right.
comes to us about 12:30 until 2. You know, and he knows when Julio's there, he's like, here's Tom, go give us to Julio. And I said, is this drink? He goes, yeah, splash of Coke and Maker's Mark. I was like, my man. And then he has me go give it to him. And then he walks around the club and he looks, and when Julio's done, he's like, Tom, come here. I go over there. He's like, here, give us another one of Julio. I'm like, oh my God. Because he knows when Julio's there, he brings the people, the dance and everything. So he wants to keep going. I'm like, he can only go to 2, dude. He has to work at Land Bliss after this. But the
Right,
owner's really
right, right.
cool
And trust
like
me,
that. You know, he's
I've
some
been
drinks without Julio even asking. Julio even tells me, he's like, you know, after I bring him the drink, he goes, here, give him a tip. I'm like, nah, dude, he just wants you to just have your drinks, he just
so,
wants you to be happy, you know?
and I appreciate that from him from Watra, because when he goes into Latin Bliss, Julio's a little happy, and he'll tell you that he's a little happy when he walks in there and he sees me, and he gets really happy. And the
Mhm.
first thing he's doing, like, get these guys some shots now. Get these guys some
Yeah, yeah,
shots.
yeah.
So thank you, the owner of
Oh, Richie could attest to that. Richie is the first person that like it. When he says, give me the shots, Richie's like, here I am.
So that's what I said. You have to do it. It's just, you know, and Julio, you know, I had Julio on here and we talk
Yeah,
about it, and he's seen me, and I go, because when are you gonna hire me to play? And I go, dude, you're busy, man. You're like when are you gonna come in for an hour and play? I says, man,
yeah,
I got guys playing me for 3 or 4 hours, man. It isn't like, yeah, you're gonna play, you know, like a set, because that's not how
yeah.
that works in my scene, you know. It generally what happens is that I have a guy start and have a guy finish. So yeah, they kind of control the room and stuff like that. It's not like when it comes to, like, for instance, we play at Lalo's for this short time, and then you play over here for a short time, and you play for over there. When it comes to Latin events, and you know that for Latin events, it's a different feel than it is for
Mhm.
with the house event.
Yeah, we're giving you 2-3 hours at Latin events. House events, we give you 45 minutes, an hour, because we
right,
want to
right,
put a lot of DJs on, because we want to
right,
have DJs bring their crowd. You know, they're excited
correct,
to spin, they're bringing their crowd and everything. More
right,
Latin events, it's 2 or 3 DJs tops.
right,
You
right.
know,
That's exactly right.
it's about the vibe more, it's about the artist more, it's about the congas, it's about all the tropical stuff, everything happening.
Right, right. So now you're in 2012, 2013. Now, what happens with you? I think you transition a little bit.
Uh, I think I went in like 2011, the whole transition for myself, throwing events and hosting, and not really hosting. I haven't hosted in a long time. Lee just hit me up about a month ago to host this show. He was doing a live broadcast show. Him and Wise Guy were doing, and it was at AV Max, and I hosted on the mic, and I was like, wow, this is brings me back to '95. I haven't hosted in a long time, but I wasn't hosting. I was just throwing events in 2010 till recently. Within the last year and a half, we started doing our hands in tropical music. We have a great partner, Julio and I. We have a great partner in Saeed from G2 Promotions, and we remain cool with George and his guys and Pink Noise and their people. The tropical scene is awesome. Everybody loves everybody. It's great. It's not as cutthroat as the old school freestyle scene, and that's how I'm like, wow, this is really great. Old school freestyle, I love it, and I would always have passion for it, and I still want to do it. I had an event coming up in Memorial Weekend at Mansion, old school freestyle, but obviously the whole pandemic happened and we couldn't do it. But with that or tropical, I think the tropical, they're more respective to the promoters and everything. They work more together, like there was back in the days downtown. There was Big Jams and Unit and V5 and everybody got together, all right, and just do one party and just sub promoters. That's why I'm like, okay, I booked 2 parties, 40 people, $5. Here's your $200. I'm like, okay, it was cool sub promoting back in the days. But now we do our own events. It's kind of nail biting, like I think Pablo was mentioning the other day when I was watching his interview, that sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and then you just bite your nails and pray that a catastrophe doesn't happen. Because let's face it, this is Chicago. It could rain hard, it could snow hard, and you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
So I remember Dave Soto, he did the Orbit when I was doing the Royal back in like 2000, stuff like that. Dave Soto and Rick Concha, when they did the Orbit, one week it was packed with Profound Image and the sounds, and then the next week it was a little slower. Like, what happened? Well, the weather, there's a lot to do with it, and it's just Chicago.
Well, Chicago has 4 seasons in one day sometimes.
Yeah.
It's a unique city. I'll tell you that. It's a very unique city. But when I meant transition, because you didn't, and I'm going to call out exactly bandas and norteñas and stuff like that. That was something that I was, when I seen your name on these. So what happened to that? When did that happen? Or when did you? Because I know usually bandas and norteñas and all those events were strictly like Ivan. That was, and then all of a sudden I seen you doing it. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? Where did he come through this?
Okay. In 99, 2000, when we started, doing the Royal at its peak, in the beginning of the transition at the Royal at night, late 99, early 2000, Rafael Gonzalez and myself, we were at the Super Mall, and then Shmoo and Isaiah, they were doing the Mega Mall, and we were still working, we were still doing the Royal every week, and everything was going great. But I would go to Tanya's, I would go to Village Cafe, and I would see how Lewis does it, how he has 2 rooms, one house level and one Spanish rock room. And I says, well, I want to, and then everyone didn't know, they're like, oh, he likes freestyle house, he doesn't like the alternative. But my favorite tape of all time is that Purple Alternative mixed by Dinamico and Marco. And I was loving the alternative music, and I said, okay, I want to do something like this. That was when Danny Salgado, Eclipse, was playing for you, and Raul Virgil. Well, they came over to our house on Diversity Kim Milwaukee, and I said, guys, I want to do a plan where we have a Spanish name as well. So we're doing, Goodfellas is the house, club scene. Now it's house music, club scene. And I want to do like a transition to Spanish type of thing, We thought of a lot of names. We brainstormed a lot of names. We were up hours brainstorming names. And Raul Virgil came up with a name called Es Tu Noche. And I said, it's your night. That does sound cool and catchy, We never really ran with it, up until recently, 2009, 2010, like you said, when I started doing the banda parties. I started getting involved with that, First of all, I love the music. I love to watch the dances. I love the cumbia. I love the norteñas. I love the bandas. They're awesome when they come in. They greet people with the Patron, and you could tell the musicians, they practice like at least 2 or 3 times a week because they have their own families. They take pride in their work, The musicians, they love it. The bandas, norteños, corridos, the groups love it, And I was intrigued by that. I seen that if you do something small in local bars, you can make some money and you could be happy. Everybody can be happy. Just don't do nothing big, because Ivan would ask questions. And I was like, well, I know Ivan. Ivan's cool with me. They're like, yeah, but you don't want to know him in that way, in the business way, him getting mad at you for doing events. I'm like, no, I don't want to do banda MS and regulo. I just want to keep it simple, So I've always kept it simple. It was Patron Bar. I want to say yeah, 8 to 10 years ago at Patron Bar. It was a guy named Rick Zapata. He used to work with Eddie Tura when we were with Eddie Tura, Marco Flores, Out of Control Oscar, Julio Sierra as well. But it was Rick Zapata who hit me up and he says, hey, I'm DJing at this bar in Cicero. It's called Patron. It's on 22nd in Cicero. And why don't you stop by? I said, all right, I'll stop by at 11:30 before I go take the expressway and go downtown. I stopped by at 11:30, had a Dos Equis, 10 minutes, and I left. He says, oh, bro, stop by next week. And then so I stopped by at 12 o'clock. And then I looked around. It was still the same 10 people. I had a beer and I was going to leave. He goes, come on. Don't be cocky. He goes, and I was like, dude, you're just bringing me to a dead place. If you interest me in the owner, show me while I'm here. I'll make it worth my while. We could talk bar percentages. We could talk, is he going to pay the group? Am I going to pay the group? Do I get the door? We could talk business, but you're just telling me to come to your bar and like want me to spend on the bar? No, bro, I could go downtown and have fun. I can go to the burbs and have fun. I can go to South and have fun. And he's like, okay. I'm going to set a meeting up call me Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'm going to have some answers for you. I'm like, all right. So on Wednesday, I call him in the midweek, I'm like, this guy doesn't have nothing. I call him Wednesday. He goes, oh, there you are. Tonight, 7 o'clock, stop by Patron. Meeting's all set. I'm like, okay, he's on it. So I stopped by Patron. Met Sandy and his partners. I think it was like 2 or 3 guys. They told me the specifics, the details, worked it out, bang, 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 and everything was cool. And I liked it. And I was like, okay, let's do it. At first there was a lot of groups that wanted to play. They're called the El Caliente groups, some norteño, but they wanted to play free. So what we did was we got those 3 groups every week from 9 until 3 o'clock. We spaced them from 9 to 10 DJ. We put a group 10 to 11 and then 20 minutes for them to get out stage. So we put another group 11 to 12 and another one 1 to 2 and a DJ to close it out, And we had only 3 groups and we had where they play and people start to know the place. So from when I would go there with Rick, 10, 15 people to 30, to 50, to 80, was slowly graduating. And people were knowing that, hey, we're doing groups here. Like, okay. That it was so funny that 3 months into it, we were doing the 200, 300 people, the pack, because the capacity, don't hold 300 people anyways. We were doing the capacity that Miguel Herrera, now he was in Switch or whatever, but those guys from My La Banda, Miguel Herrera and then from Menenderos, they would come by. Oh, how much is your admission? Here's your $10 at the door. And they would want to see what's going on over here because we captured the whole Cicero. They want to know what's going on and everything, And then we got the bigger groups, the better groups, Norteñísimo, Escuela, Banda Tierra Caliente, Banda Nueva Raza. And then we went from there. We had a good 2.5, 3 year run over there until the owner sold it. And now it's Metro PCS, I believe. We had a good run over there. And then from there, we went to Alejandra's doing events, Club 64 doing events with Luis Corona. My relationship with him was he was one of the owners of Perior's Bar, Patron Hacienda over there. He was a manager. Well, he's a / owner as well. I think 25% owner. Him and Marco were running it, and I was working with Eddie, and we were promoting Patron Hacienda. The fights and everything it was good times back in the days. For those who remember, was the old not Buzz Bomb. What the hell was it back in the day? What was another club back in the day? But it was Patron Hacienda. We had a good run over there. Cisco and Scream, the guys were playing too. They had their night. We had our night Saturday with Eddie Tura and Big Jams. So that's how I knew Luis Corona. And when he had his restaurant at Alejandra's, we would do events there. We did I think 2 at 64 back in 2014, 2015. With Luis Corona, we would get our groups, get our bandas. He was very work with everybody. He said, this promoting group, you get every first of the month. This promoting group, every second of the month, third of the month, fourth of the month. So you bring in your talent, you do a birthday party, bikini contest, groups here, groups from Mexico. You do whatever you want on your day. And that was awesome because I knew every third Saturday of the month was mine. So I would gear up and, do my parties. And that was cool. He was a very understanding guy. I never got into the fact that you
gotta say hello. That's why.
Yeah, he's to shower. I never got into the 10, 20, 30 grand Banda MS, Regulo, and stuff like that. I know how Ivan does it. He buys them and local promoters get a piece of the action. He's smart because he gets it in Aurora, Elgin, everywhere. Like he rents them out, and then when he does his events at Aragon or Plaza, they're free because they already paid off the brand. So I get it, My only interaction with it out of town people was 2015, we brought Ramonas, the kids.
Right.
And when we brought them Alejandro's, we packed it up. Of course, it was a small bar. But when I went in their bus, I seen what they go through. I mean, the guys are sleeping in there. I'm like, wow. Usually when we did George Lamont and Judy Torres, okay, we fly them out. We fly them in 11, 12 o'clock. They stay in the hotel, and then we pick them up at 9 or 10 o'clock. We bring them to the club backstage, and they perform, and then they sign autographs, and then they go back to the hotel. They leave the next day, Sunday. ABC, very simple. But with the grind from the banda scene, Ramones, they had their tour bus and everything driving Minnesota, Michigan. I mean, wow. I mean, I know they're getting a little more money, but still, I respect them so much for that. I mean, they don't have to do it. I mean, and they're tired, and you can see their eyes are tired, but they still get on there and do their show. I mean, I'm like, wow. For the performances that they go through, it's amazing. It's not just an ABC where you jump on a plane and go. No, they go state to state, city to city, and rock it. Every day it's different. They're on the road. Literally on the road. Their tour buses.
So now let's go to almost present. Now this Corona thing hits. What happens down to everything? What happened to everything that you're doing? I mean, we all know what happens, but what happens now for you? I mean, this has got to be the biggest halt of everything you do, because that's all you rely on, correct?
Yeah, I have a part-time job at FedEx, but this is what I rely on. And in December, January, really putting deposits on as the festivals, and we were talking to George Ferreira and everybody and the organizers of 18th Street Development for the Mole Mile, and we were getting the ball rolling in December and January like you're supposed to. There was a baller, a spender of mine back in February, I think in beginning of February, he hit me up and he's like, hey, they're having something big at Mansion, and see what you can do as far as tickets, or do I have to buy 2 bottle minimum or VIP, but I want the VIP package. So I hit up the manager at Mansion, and I said, hey, this guy wants to know what VIP package, and I don't want to just tell him, look on the website, because he's a spender. He's a good client of mine, So I got the information related to him. And then the manager called me back and he says, hey, what are you doing Memorial Weekend, May 24th? And I says, oh man, I did that last year when I did Lime at Watra, and then I had Mole de Mayo. Then you have to leave the festival early. And if you leave a festival at 7, that's when the action is, 7 to 10. So I lost 3 hours of sailing to go to Watra. We had to position the door girl. I mean, we have our team, and I trust my team and everything, but you have to be there hands-on as well, because what about the tables? What about the tickets? And what about the online tickets? And it's just, you have to be there, So, I mean, I had to leave Mole de Mayo early. That's why I told him, I said, I don't know, because there's 2 things going on. I can't do all that, He's like, well, Ivan's doing, he would be doing that Sunday, but he's doing an event at Plaza, and then he's doing the ranch. So he's not doing to do that night if you want. I said, oh, okay, Mansion, one of the hottest clubs out right now. Okay, yeah, let's do it. And I said, okay, let me get back to you. So the next day I was like, hey, yeah, count me in, May 24th. Let's do it, And then in late February, early March, I was booking everybody. We booked the freestyle act. We booked the DJs in Chicago. We booked the artists in Chicago, and we had a good little lineup. Everything was good to go. I called Telly. Hey, Telly, bang out the flyer, blah, blah, blah. Telly's going to bang out the flyer. Everything's good. On March 13th, 14th, and then Jamie Pritzker goes around St. Patrick's weekend at Bourbon Street. He goes around Wrigleyville, and he goes around Lincoln Park. I says, what is this? I told everybody 50 people. There's 1 million people out there. Dude, it's St. Patrick's weekend. Of course there's 1 million people out there. So Pritzker got mad, and then on that Monday, I believe it's the 15th or 16th of March, shut everything down. He shut everything down, because the week before that, he told everybody, limit your venue to 50 people. But then St. Patrick's weekend, everybody was at Bourbon, Wrigleyville, Lincoln, and he's like, no, I know. And then he shut everything down on March 16th. And I mean, it was, it's devastating. We didn't do the Sunday, May 24th event. We were going to have Raulín Rodriguez at Joe's Live, a bachata superstar, at Joe's Live, and March 28th, we had to reschedule that. So, I mean, everything got pushed back now. I don't know what's happening. I know they're doing outdoor stuff in Indiana, and that's cool. However you can make your money. I don't know who's going to go. I don't know if they're going to be receptive to people 6 feet apart. I don't know how speculations things are going to go. All I know is supposedly moving to phase 4 on July 4th, the mayor said, and I mean, it's still out there. They said it's only at 3%. Yesterday I seen the news, but still 3% is still out there, so I don't know. It's tough times, and then the whole riot thing happened. And a couple of the businesses that I know, and I know the owner of Foot Locker out here on the south side, and it's sad what's been going on and everything, But all we could do is hang in there and just go with the flow.
Right. I mean, but so you're currently not doing anything online other than what you said about hosting vote, but that's like.
Oh yeah, I hosted with Pump Boy Lee and Wise Guy, and and I'm gonna do something with Julio out there in Skokie where he's at, and I think Lobo contacted me, a sister was a host that or do something out there,
Right.
That's pretty much it, I'll help the boys out once in a while,
Right. Right. So I mean, that's what I was just wondering because I know just like you, George Ortega, we're all kind of curious about what's going to happen. In your career, and I guess that's what we're gonna kind of wrap up because I know it's about 8:51. In your career, what would you say your biggest highlight of what you've done at this point? What would be your top thing? Like you would be like, wow, this is one of my top moments.
To tell you the truth, I really can't put one. I mean, I loved selling tapes. I got in the mood back in the 90s. I love the Royal. I love the Zentra. I love the Lowrider shows. I love what I do now with the Lime and George Lamont. Judy booked them. I love when we did the Joe's party last year in August with Gary Svickus. When we did the Joe's event in August at Joe's, seeing all the people. I love still with Julian, his foundation we just did over there. We touched a lot of families, gave a lot of food out and donations and helped everything out with Julian. I love the fact being Julian's friend. I mean, I grew up listening to this guy on the radio, and I talk to him once a week, every week. I just love that I'm in the situation, the predicament I'm in, and I really can't say one thing. I remember we did a Twister thing in Riviera. That was marked us a lot of money, but sometimes not about the money. It's just about having fun and just there's a lot of areas where I had fun. Lowrider shows with Louis Rivera Smooth from Pamper the Knox, when we lived over there. We would go out every weekend, Friday and Saturday, House of Blues and Village Cafe. And in Dromidas, we met Sammy Sosa at Andromidas before. I mean, just the moments, just the moments of being in the scene, young warehouse carrying Julian's records, Shelter, Eric's North, being young and just in the scene, and I'm just blessed to just be in the scene. I really can't name one, one that I'm still doing and I still love doing it at a high level. Maybe that's an accomplishment and something I like, but I really can't name one. I love everything. Selling. I just love people, talking to the people. That's why anyone who talks to me, a girl, a guy, they know that I'm really enthusiastic. I love what I do. They know that I take pride in it, and they know that I, excuse my language, but I give a shit, about what I do because I put my effort into it. A cop, when I was working at the pawn shop back in 94, 95 out of high school, the pawn shop on Belmont and Sheffield underneath the Belmont L. I was leaving there to take the job at Jumpin' Music at the Mega Mall because Harry said, I'm going to go to Grand and Julian and Charlie want you and Schmutz to manage the store. And I said, okay. So I said, I'm going to be leaving. And they said, okay. And I said, I'm going to be quitting. And a cop named from the 19th district named Joe Velez, he says, don't associate your name with the word quit. Don't say you're going to be quitting. Just say you're going to be moving on. And from there on, and he says, what are you going to be doing? I said, a record store, music store, just selling music, nothing like a big corporation, big money, but just something like that. He goes, you know what? It's not about what you do. You could be a janitor cleaning up. It's about you take pride in what you do and you be the best damn janitor. You were at McDonald's, you be the best damn McDonald's person, just be the best at what you do. You be the best at it. So what I did with the hospitality, hosting, club manager at Zentra, I've tried to be the best I could be. And I know people appreciate that. I love that because till this day, they call, well, not this day, but they call me and say, hey, what's going on? What's going on? And I let them know everything going on and everything, because they know that I knew the hot spots and I was, knew where the place to be. And I gave them the VIPs, they came out, and I just love marketing and talking to people, hospitality. Being the best you could be. I don't care what kind of job it was a low class job, whatever, just be the best you could be. And that's the philosophy that I have. And that's why I like posting, I like marketing, and now I'm throwing the events. I like it all. I like everything about this,
No, that's what I want to get across, because I think that's what I want to make sure. Any last words to the people out there that you want to say, that people, because you got a lot of listeners, you got a lot of people that logged on Anything you want to
Oh,
say to all those people that are listening or talking, Tom?
well, I would just like to say thank you for logging on. I appreciate it and everything like that. I was really nervous about how this is going to go because I stood up hours watching Pablo's and Chicago's and then Kisses, and I was like, well, I want to be like them. But right now, you don't know what I'm doing with my hands. I'm really nervous because I have so much to talk about, but I don't know how to scram it in an hour and a half. I'm just so nervous right now because I've been blessed. I know you. You're not a promoter. You're my friend. I know you for a long time. I just don't know what to say. My hands are tweaking down here. I'm so nervous. I'm so blessed. I just want to tell people that whatever you do in this business, hospitality, even Pink Noise, Rico and Rocco, they were playing with us at V5. Now they're doing with the Pink Noise. It's $1 million company what they do. When they do your events with the weddings, they give you a photo booth, a lights, sounds. That's the way to go. People like that who came from the bottom into the top. It's like, that's amazing. We all can do this, whether you're a promoter, whether you're a manager, whatever you are, just be humble and respect everybody and love what you do, because I truly love what I do. I love talking to people. I love marketing with people. I love drinking with people because people, promoters are like, oh, no, I won't take a drink, or I'll take a drink and then backwash it. No, I drink with the people. I have fun. That's why I like the Mexican events. But I drink with the people. I love everybody. I genuinely love everybody. I text people, how you doing through this pandemic? And people are like, oh, what? Like I love what I do, I'm going to go next week to Sam and Mickey's boat party. I support the other promoters. I come out, hang out with you. I love it. Because it's just there's no need to be a dick, and there's no need to be selfish for yourself. And so when I'm not free, I go out everywhere. Whether that's Halstead, Wrigleyville, Lincoln Park, whether that's South Shore, Hyde Park, bars, I go anywhere because I show love to everybody, and I just love what I do. Pretty much, I just want to tell people, just love what you're doing. I don't care if you're a bartender, I don't care if you're a host, a manager. Just love what you do, because people take advantage of the situation too, and they just don't give a shit. They're sloppy sometimes. Just love what you do.
Well, I was gonna mention that I know somebody in this business, and I think you know who I'm talking, who was a barback when he first started in this business. And he's part of a promotion company now, and he's doing all well,
Mhm.
and these guys, you could be the low man of the totem pole starting in this business. So people don't understand. You could be the low man in totem pole, and I'm not talking barbacks or low man totem pole, but I'm just saying in the industry aspect of it, you're a barback, all right? But then you know what? Then you get to know people, you become personal, your hospitality and stuff like that, and it grows, and then all of a sudden now you have your own company, and this guy has his own company, that.
Yeah.
And
My 8 guys who were doing street promotion with me, they were asking me, why are you just a person passing off flyers, being the coordinator for V5? Why don't you be their partner or be stuff? And I'm like, yeah, well, everything I've done from 95 to 04, 05, that's me. I had a great life, great career, but this is their business. This is what they want me to do, and that's that. But they seen my blossom, Frank and Frankie, and they put me to manage and all this stuff, and it was great. They seen it, So yeah, you had to start, like you said, you had to start passing on the flyers on the bottom, and you have to work your way up. You got to hang posters, you got to have flyers. Obviously nowadays it's social media, but you got to do the grind. You got to get out there. You got to put in the work, as they say.
So that's why I just want people to understand that and this is a lot to do with just people being people with each other, being and I think that's going to be the key for the success of the business from this point forward. With the pandemic and everything like that, just let us just be socially responsible, with each other. I think that's going to be, and you're going to hear that word from me a lot. You're not going to hear social distancing anymore. You're going to hear the word social responsible, because I think that's one of the things that got us in trouble, is being social irresponsible. That's we're in the situation we are now.
Yeah.
We didn't learn to wash our hands, or we didn't learn to be.
Yeah, I Lysol my shoes now, and I never done that before. It's like, but that's good. I'm washing my hands. I go to throw out garbage. I'm sanitizing. I never did that before. I wash my hands after garbage, but not sanitizing and wash hands. It's like, wow, But I think people are gonna want to go out, but I just hope they do it the safe way. Wear your mask if you are gonna drink. Take your mask off, but wear it. But just wear it. But who knows if they'll give 50% 75% of the clubs and restaurants and all that stuff. You know, who knows what's JB going to say? But I hope people take care of themselves during all this. Please wear your mask. You know, the mask is very important. It's not protecting you; it's protecting the others. You know, if you're sneezing, it's protecting you. It's protecting others from getting sick. You know, it's very important.
Correct. Well, Tom, thank you very much. The hour has gone by. I know it goes by quick, and everybody, kind of surprised.
Yeah, I looked up and it is 9 o'clock. I'm like, wow. You know, like I said, I had so much stuff to talk, and I want to cram it in. I don't know what to say. I'm nervous because you're my personal friend. And I'm like, what the hell? What's going on? You know?
You did fine. Everybody's going to say the same thing. You know, and one of the cool things is that obviously not everybody is right now live, but trust me, this gets played. I think it's an average now about 4,000 views will be on this. That's kind of a daily number. So there's going to be a lot of people just to listen and to watch what you have to say, because I think that's important that people know the history. Everybody that's been on the show, and I'm happy that I'm doing it with all these guys, all these girls, and everybody that I'm talking to. So thank you, Tom. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and that's why I liked, because it was myself, Alan, JR Hollywood that was a promotion. Everyone else has been DJing, and then you had a dancer the other day, and it's good that you get a lot of people's aspect and perspective. Chicago and it's good that you get a lot of people's aspect, and it's good that this show's going on like that, because people know that it's just not a DJ. It's promoters, it's dancers, it's everybody in the industry. It's awesome.
I'm waiting for a bartender to say yes. They want to talk to me. So I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for the guy that does the washroom to talk to me as well.
Yeah,
because I'm sure he has.
Advent, who used to do Spy Bar at the pictures. Yeah. Advent to do the pictures. Yeah.
Because they have stories. Oh my God,
they have worse than ours. Yeah, we were in the VIP doing whatever. We were doing the bathroom doing whatever, but they have stories. Exactly. What they seen, what girl fell, what gossip. They know.
Well, and honestly, I don't know if you know this, but Tom, that was the reason why I created this show called The Front Door Show, because it was one of my, Louis Molina. He talked about
Rolling River.
No. Louis, Meta Lewis, Little Meta Lewis.
Oh, okay, Meta Lewis, our buddy. Yeah, SEO.
Yeah. So Lewis is the one who talked about, oh, you'd be surprised how much information you get from the front door. And I was like, wait a minute, that's where it comes from, the front door. You're right, and just the talk that's at the front door.
Or the bathrooms,
Well, I don't think the general public wants to hear everything about the bathroom. There's some stories, but the front door was why we created the show, because we wanted people to know the back history of a lot of things that were going on. So I appreciate it, Tom. Thank you very much.
Oh, real quick. What? I see what you're doing with the picnic thing. That's awesome idea. I wish you nothing but the success over there. That's going to be great with the whole picnic thing. I know George Ortega is going to stop by. That's great. It's going to be so much fun. Hopefully I'm off that weekend. I can show you support. But that's going to be great. It's going to be great. And now you have a salsa instructor over there. That's going to be great. Let me know. I'll get the El Campeon guy over there.
Well,
that's great, by the way. I just want to say that.
Here's some breaking news, and Pablo and Stacy were talking about it. So the date has to be changed now, because they are officially opening up the parks on June 26th. And so the only date I can get a permit is June 26th. That was the only date. So we had to move it over to June 26th. So, which is great, because that's the actual opening date of the parks. So that's when they're going to officially open up the parks on June 26th. And I was like, okay, well, cool. That'll be the opening day, and we're going to change the name to Social Distance Silent Picnic. Social responsible.
Responsible. That's your thing. Responsible. That's your new thing.
Because we want this to do well, because you're right. I think everybody says the same thing. It's a phenomenal idea, because we're trying to do it in a sense of keeping socially responsible and not get anybody. We don't want anybody sick. These are our family, our friends, and we want everybody to have a good time. And just like, you being a host, you want to make sure that the hospitality aspect of it is taking care of your customers, taking care of people that are, and definitely even if without this COVID, you still want people to be safe, wherever they're at. That's part of it, so we want to be responsible. And that's what we're looking forward to, being responsible. That's all.
But the whole 3 different DJs playing the 3 different music and your headsets, that's cool. You know, you go there with your family and your friends, you do your thing, but you're being listening to your headphones. That sounds cool because you know what? I don't gotta bother you. I don't gotta bother you. I could put on whatever music I want, the Zumba one, you said number 3. I could put on hip hop and I could put on whatever I want. And I could be over here hanging on my buddies or my family, and they could
Right.
person could be over there 6 feet apart. You don't gotta see the person. That's why I like it. I'm like, okay, this is cool now, you know?
Right,
You know?
right. Trust me, Joe.
Because when those beaches and parks, everyone's all
Yeah.
together. Like you see the pictures in Miami, everyone's all together and everything. It's like, I don't know. And then the news, those areas, Florida and them, are becoming the most spikes, in coronavirus because everyone's all together.
Well, I don't know. Did you see that somebody threw a party and there was no social distancing at all. There was absolutely nothing. There were
Exactly.
there was like 60 people at one place and there was no mask. And they were dancing, sweaty, like it never happened. And I'm like, oh my God, dude. I get it. I think I get it if this was 7 months from now. Then we're worth it. But to do this on day one, to doing absolutely nothing, like distancing, no cautiousness, no gloves, no no mask, no nothing.
Walk around with a sanitizer or something. At least try to take care of yourself somehow.
No, and dude, everybody texts me or told me, and I'm like, you know what? Good, let them do what they're doing because we're gonna show the correct way of doing it. That's what we're gonna do. That's
exactly.
it. So everything I've ever done was always I could care less about what anybody does. In fact, I'm the guy that says let them do it. I'll do the opposite. Always been that way. Always did
the right way,
opposite.
basically.
You're right, correct.
Yeah.
Let them. Hey, they need to make money. Good. They make money. They're quick fashion. Cool. Hey man, I want to make money long term. Yeah.
I want to be alive longer.
Exactly. Cool.
Just
Thank
catch
you.
something and then you're in a hospital and who knows.
All right, Tom. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, I see the cat was very good on this interview today.
Yes, he was. He was actually. I had to water him down a little bit so that he calmed down a bit.
Is he going for the fish or the water? That's my question.
No, he's going for the water. He's definitely going for the water. They don't bother the fish at all. They really don't.
Oh.
I think they're scared of the fish actually. The fish will come up to them like
they're scared.
they're not the normal cats, trust me.
Yeah, because on the interviews I seen it goes really deep. The cat goes really deep into the water. I'm like, oh my God.
No fish have gone missing here, so we're all good.
Okay, God bless the cat then.
All right, I talk to
he knows his boundaries.
Yes. All right, guys, thank you. That was the Front Door Show. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Angelo.